Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 183rd episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. My name is Benedict. You may know me better as BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, a bunch of nonsense. With me, as always, is my friend, co-host, and hungover buddy. Buddy in the sense that we are both hungover from the same activity.
And in-person buddy.
Yeah. Frederick, put it right here.
Goddamn.
This was recorded April 11th, by the way, so, you know.
Bit of a
pre-recorder.
Bit of a maybe low-energy pod.
Possibly. So this one, you know, it's still going to be a banger. It's still going to be great. We're talking Dreamworks movies.
We are.
Part 2. I know people are very excited. The highly anticipated sequel. Mm-hmm. We will be a little bit, maybe, I don't say low energy, I'll say relaxed, chill.
We'll say send out.
It's like a cool jazz channel. It's on late at night. It's
perhaps
like,
an ASMR.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome to Poorly Planned Blues.
Next up, Huey Lewis. I don't know.
Should we explain why it is we are a little bit send in?
So there are time codes down below, by the way. But last night we did achieve a lifelong dream of mine that you have participated in before.
But it was completed when I did it with my main boy.
With my boy. For those who have watched the show New Girl, in that show they do play a drinking game, True American.
Yes.
And in the show it's sort of a running joke that there aren't actually any well-defined rules and it's sort of very confusing. But you and your comrades were able to whittle down a set of rules.
Yes, sir.
And we did in fact hit a game of True American.
Goddamn. And was it good?
It was amazing.
It was so good.
I genuinely felt like I was in apartment 4D.
4D, when in fact it was 20E. I won't say what street.
There you go. But it is a
but here it is
but here's a photo of Freddy's mailbox. No, it was just very, very fun. We had the all trash belongs in the junkyard.
We had the 1, 2, 3, 4, JFK,
FDR.
We hit all of it.
It was so fun. It was so fun. And we had our own little rule, like you do a quote, and there were some things that I assume you got like from the internet, like you look up. But then there were our own little.
Yeah, the like kind of skeleton of it we got from the internet, but then we added a few different things on, like categories and would you rather kind of thing. So kind of made it maybe a bit more modern.
And as you know, the floor is lava.
And the floor is, of course, lava.
50% Candyland and whatever. And we jumped from fucking pillows to whatever, and we had to there were a couple of very intimate moments where one had to squeeze onto a pillow with someone
like
else.
Three other people.
3 of the boys on a pillow. No, it was genuinely one of the most fun like drinking games I've ever played. So
yeah, and we did have a very New Girl-esque morning where we both woke up in bed just kind of looking at the ceiling like,
oh god.
God damn.
Well, we did also, if we can just, I think the more pertinent part of this anecdote is the morning after, and that says a horrible start to the story.
Oh, yes.
But I promise it's not a sexual thing.
We escaped the sexual part of it.
We did. So post all this drinking, we weren't in we're currently still in the state. We're not in a terrible state, but we wanted
definitely not in a good state.
Not in a good state. We wanted some solid breakfast.
A good old English breakfast.
We wanted some English brekkie.
We wanted some eggs, some toast, some
sausage,
some beans, some bacon. Yeah, black pudding.
It'd be great. We go to Spoons. They do not serve breakfast after 12.
Yeah, they used to do an all-day breakfast.
Shame for Spoons.
And then they've changed that. They're fact.
So we go hunting on the streets of Stirling for an English breakfast, and we find a place that on the outside did not look that bad.
Yeah,
it looked like pretty normal.
It was like Sterling's best bakery and stuff.
Well, but maybe we shouldn't give away too many details about.
Oh yeah.
I guess so. We're not going to say what it was, but we go in, and I'm not exaggerating when I say it is one of the most unsettling places I have ever been.
Yeah,
if
we were there together, if we weren't there together, I would be genuinely kind of uneasy sitting in there.
And if also, I think maybe being hungover helped because I was like, fuck it, I just want my food. But if I was like more alert, like there were so many red flags.
So many red flags. So basically, we walk in. The front of it actually looks quite nice. It's like a little area. But then the main back area where like all the tables are.
Yeah.
It's this large white room that's got terrifying paintings and pictures all around. There's like
teddy bears
like peeking through like bookshelves, and there's like steampunk, like old steampunk men just like staring into your soul.
Rabbits and shit. Yeah. And also, just to clarify, no windows, kind of low ceiling, completely like white wall, ceiling, floor.
Very Asylum-esque.
Asylum, we compared it to the back rooms to Outlast. Kind of like a Get Out sort of vibe to some of it.
A little bit. And then also, again, this is probably not something we should be saying it's a bad thing, but the lady there was very nice, but also a little bit intense.
She came on a bit strong.
She did. Like, the moment I walked in, she was like, she called me someone else. She's like, oh, you're Douglas. I was like, no. She's like, oh, you look like Douglas. He's got a lovely smile. I was like, what in the world is going? Okay.
And we like
accidental Riz.
There was a really weird smell.
There was a very strange smell. But then what really like put the icing on the cake is that we sat down and then like really scary like children's music played.
Oh my god! Yeah, it was like, you know, the like tiptoe through the wind, like that's like this weird like circusy children, but like in a horror movie where it's playing on a fucking vinyl, and then it was the creepiest Asylum shit, and like there was just everything about it then seemed ominous. There's a little like A4 piece of paper that just says kids area with an arrow pointing that. I was like, no one go near that fucking area.
No one go that way. And it was like, the kids area was like around a corner where you couldn't see what was actually going on.
So yeah, we did have a good time theorizing multiple things. Of there were people trapped in the walls. They had I don't want to say children hidden in the basement, the black phone style, but there's
we did say
just
that
a lot.
And then and also at random points this like bell would go off. It was like two like dings that would like ring throughout the entire like cafe / restaurant. And then whenever that bell rung, all the workers rushed like they all rushed into the back room.
Clearly someone was escaping.
Clearly the kids were escaping.
It could also, it was secretly a mental asylum, and all the workers there were just crazy people who escaped. It was absurd experience. I'm not gonna lie, the food was not very good.
The food was mid, if not worse. It was the worst beans I've ever had. The toast was not really toast. This was like a fucking crouton. It was
it says a lot when the food at Spoons would have been higher quality.
Yeah,
Spoons was the go-to like kind of trash like hungover breakfast place, and this was below that.
It was so bad.
So anyway, it was called Ket. No, I'm kidding.
Here's the name.
But would not go back. Oh yeah.
And should we just also say, as we're paying, we're like, okay, let's get out of here. We think we've been.
Oh my god, the big twist! The Twilight Zone style twist.
The Twilight Zone.
Like we were joking the whole time. We were having a good time, kind of laughing about it, even though it was really unsettling. And then as we're leaving, we're paying, and then by like not like in a bit of a subtle way, by the till. There's a book, like, praising the Antichrist. This is not even a joke. He has risen, the Antichrist.
He has risen, the Antichrist. And we're like, oh my god. Like, we spoke in Danish together. We're like...
Yeah, you were like, yo,
check out this book.
Check out the fucking book over there.
And then we, like, looked at each other. We're like, what the fuck? And we just rushed out of there.
Because all the people working there, like, I mean, all the jokes aside, they're just, like, nice people. But they were, like, very, like, kind of very smiley old ladies. Mm-hmm. Fuck it, just everything was off about that place. I'm sorry.
It was just terrifying.
The Antichrist thing at the end was just like, genuinely, it was like a horror movie where at the end, like, the camera will zoom in on something in the background, and then it's like, oh my god, I was a fucking Colton the whole time. So, yeah.
Oh, terrifying.
But we made it out.
We did make it out.
Who knows if they'll come after us.
Yeah, this might be...
the last pod.
The last pod ever.
But anyway, what a start to the day we've had.
Mm-hmm. Truly.
In the meantime, let's start talking some Dreamworks.
On that topic, Dreamworks.
So, again, this is a pre-recorded pod, so if anything happens since April 11th until this comes out, I don't know, whatever, but we're on that new schedule, all that good stuff. We did part 1 of this series, where we talked everything before Shark Tale, so if you want to catch up on that, go find that on the channel or on the Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We're going to go today from Shark Tale to, I believe, Shrek the Third.
Ooh, a great movie.
Oh boy, we will get into that. We're going to talk... Just do our little review, and then of course we have our classic trivia game at the end.
Of course.
Where I've found a real piece of trivia, I believe from IMDb, and then come up with my own piece of trivia, and Frederick here has to discern
which is real, which is fake.
So,
and sometimes it's very difficult to do.
I would say always very difficult. So we're just going to dive into this. Timecodes down below, starting off with... spoilers for everything, by the way. Spoilers for all these. Shark Tale.
Shark Tale.
First of all... Amazing title. What a pun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shark story.
But they also have tails.
They do indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Next movie.
We're done. I believe Will Smith is said fish.
Will Smith does tell the tale involved.
He does tell the tale.
Jack Black is there. Jack Black is the friendly shark.
I don't know if I've ever seen this movie.
Oh. Okay. Well, you'll be very happy to know the best part of this, which is part of the reason why it's just one of the most confusing things I've ever seen. Martin Scorsese makes a cameo in this. As
himself.
I think, well, he's kind of just like, a Martin Scorsese fish. That's one of the main things I remember about it in my current state.
Very strange.
I'll be honest. I have a weird love-hate relationship with this movie. This movie, to me, is... Okay, I'm going to throw out a crazy metaphor here.
Okay, please.
Do you remember those little circular cheeses that came with, like, the red wax, and you peel the wax off? It's like Baby Bells?
Baby Bell, yeah.
Baby Bells. This is a thing where, when I was a child, my parents would give them to me and my sister, and my sister really liked them, and I really did not like them.
I'm not a fan of Baby Bell either.
But I kept eating them, because I was just like, it's just like a thing to do.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know why. And it took me, like, several years.
Force-fed Baby Bell?
Like, to the age of 7 to be like, I actually don't like these. And I think I have a similar relationship with the film Shark Tale, because we watched it
over and over and over
very often as a child, and I was always like, I don't really like this movie. It's just like, it's just kind of unpleasant. Like, it just...
I forget, is it... So is this in Nemo, or is it in this one where the shark sniffs blood and then gets all high?
No, that's in Nemo.
That's in Nemo.
In this one, Will Smith is a kind of douchey fish who's trying to get with the Angelina Jolie fish.
Oh, yes.
He's going nowhere in life. He's a little bitch fish.
Okay.
He then...
A saltwater bitch fish.
There you go. He is seen to have killed a shark.
Okay.
Although he didn't actually. So it's one of those classic, like, every one of these fucking movies, like A Bug's Life, whatever, where it's like... Everyone thinks he did something cool.
He hypes himself up.
And then they reveal that he didn't, and then everyone hates him, but then he gets his friends back, whatever. And then he befriends the Jack Black shark. This is all, by the way, from, like, vague 8-year-old memory, so I can't tell if this is real. But he befriends the Jack Black shark, and they agree to, like, kind of run the scheme of he pretends to defeat the Jack Black shark in front of everyone, because Jack Black shark also doesn't want to be in his Jack Black shark family.
Okay.
You're like, I'm too fucking hungover for this.
This is really not clicking.
And anyway, it's just like... It had some kind of funny moments. It's very... I think it's everything that people kind of criticize DreamWorks for. Okay. It's very, like, pop culture reference, a lot of pop songs, and sort of, like, goofy humor.
Okay,
and, like,
Is Jack Black good in it?
I think Jack Black was probably my favorite part. Will Smith is just such an asshole of a character. Like, he's one of those characters, especially, like, these sort of animated films sometimes have, where he's just, like... He has no redeeming qualities, but you're just supposed to like him.
Because he's the main character?
Because he's Will Smith, yeah.
It sounds kind of like Will Smith, honestly.
Hey, yo. Getting a bit political here.
A parallel to the real life?
They foresaw the Chris Rock incident.
Have you seen all the Chris Rock jokes he's made?
I have.
Very funny.
Yeah, although a little late, I'd say. It's been
very late.
It's been a while, Chris Rock.
Also, I'm sure he isn't actually that upset about it. Like, he can be upset about it, but like, it did very much help his career in a way.
Yeah, who was talking about Chris Rock these days before that, you know?
Yeah, come on.
Also,
now everyone's talking about him.
Chris Rock, famous for playing Luigi in the latest Mario movie. There's a reference to your girlfriend's comprehension abilities. I will say... It's not like the worst movie ever. I remember liking The World. They do build a bit of a fish city, and they have like the car wash is like your
fish city.
The car wash is like you're washing a big whale or some shit. I don't know.
Okay,
but I don't know how they got the budget to have your mother in this film.
No, he's done it. Fuck, 1-0 Hudson.
But overall,
okay, I'll keep that one in mind.
I'm gonna say I watched a lot as a kid. It's probably not that bad, but I have a weird thing where I'm like, I don't like this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I have not really... I don't think... I might have when I was younger. I don't think I've seen all of it. The scenes I've seen does seem like a weird time that I don't think I'd be a huge fan of.
You wouldn't enjoy.
I'm not an avid Shark Tales enjoyer.
Well, Shark Tale trivia. Trivia number A.
Okay. Number 8.
According to Hans Zimmer, he told producer Jeffrey Katzenberg that he could not deal with any more epic movies, but wanted to do a fun animated movie instead, and so he got the chance to compose for this movie.
Okay.
Bit of a diss from the Hans there.
Bit of a diss. Yeah, I don't want to do big, cool movies. I want to do
your shitty little animated ones, Jeffrey. Or B, Martin Scorsese wanted to be in this movie because he thought it would be the highest form of cinema, and after seeing the final product, he attempted to kill himself by jumping into a tank full of sharks.
I see. Both very viable.
Yeah. Both kind of insulting to the Shark Tale legacy.
Yeah, I won't lie. The Hans Zimmer one doesn't seem very likely.
I heard about that Martin Scorsese killing himself with shark story a few years ago.
I did hear the tub of full of sharks in Scorsese incident.
It's just his bathtub?
I'm going to have to go... The Zimmer one is wrong. It's
No, yeah, fair. Well, you've been pranked.
Fuck!
That was true.
Damn it.
2-0 Hudson. Well, that leads us nicely into a film that you have seen, I think. And speaking of Chris Rock.
Oh.
And Jada Pinkett. We're going to move on to Madagascar. Ooh. Something that I would declare an S-tier DreamWorks film.
I dare... I wouldn't say S tier. I'm gonna say high A tier.
Okay. By the way, Shark Tale, we should say I'd say a
C tier.
C, 4 out of 10. I'd say.
Okay. I haven't seen it. I'm gonna say 4.1 out of 10 because I'm not that Debbie Downer.
Shit. Fuck. Madagascar. This is, I think, in this episode we're coming more into play also the nostalgia of we had watching these. But
definitely.
This was one of the animated classics that my family loved growing up, and it's just. It's just a very funny movie. It's
a good time.
I think it all these are quite comedic, and I think this one and Shrek, because even though like Kung Fu Panda and How to Train Your Dragon are great,
yeah,
and they are funny, but I see them I don't want to say like as epic movies, but I see them more as like just kind of movies.
Yeah.
Although Kung Fu Panda is very funny, but like Madagascar and Shrek are like very much straight comedies.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is not a discredit or anything, and I do think Shrek is better, but whatever.
Well, God, you have a boner for Shrek, don't you?
Don't we all? But Madagascar, just as a comedy, just very funny.
Very funny. You got some very wholesome and delightful characters. We
Character
got
dynamics.
We got Alex. We got the zebra, the giraffe, your mom.
Yeah, I was going to say, I imagined when we got to Madagascar, this is when the rebuttal would come into play.
Well, you are very much correct, sir.
God. Okay. No, it's okay. That's okay. Okay. Balls in my court now. I'll keep it ready.
It's all you.
No, like a very charming cast of characters who I think were very well cast.
Yeah.
And I think, like, fucking, what's his name? The guy from Friends. The goofball.
Chandler?
No. Is it him?
Chandler's the goofball from Friends. Joey?
No.
Ross. Those are the only three guys from Friends.
Ross, that's Ross. Ross is the goofball.
Ross is definitely not the goofball. He's like the
Chandler's not the goofball.
Chandler's the guy always cracking jokes.
Oh, I meant goofball like a goofy dude.
Like a goofy dude.
Actual debate? Chandler's not a goofball. He's the wisecracker.
And Joey is the misogynistic pig.
No, the Ross, yeah. I think he's
the Ross.
The Rossler?
The Rossler.
The actual disappointment here was the Rossler.
Come on now. The goofball, you call him.
What does that make you? But him as the giraffe, I think, was a great casting choice. Him as the giraffe. This is the best movie reviewing. You open the New York Times to the movie review section. Oh, the Rossler.
Ross,
him as
the goofball as giraffe. Great casting choice.
Good choice.
Really fits the role physically.
He kind of does. He's a tall guy. I don't know. Anyway,
he's a goofball.
I think, I don't know, it falls a little bit into the main character is a bit of a douchebag, but like you just kind of have to, like Alex is sort of terrible.
He is kind of, yeah.
But he's much more likable than Will Smith.
Who is it that voices Alex?
It's Ben Stiller. And I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Ben Stiller brings a lot more charm
and kind of warmth
likability.
To it.
Yes,
yeah. I will say, if I remember correctly, there is like one part of this movie. It didn't make me uneasy, but it was kind of like I remember being like, like whenever they have a falling out and he like tries to eat his
ass.
No, that does happen.
Yeah. Literally,
when Ben Stiller tries to eat Chris Rock's ass in this movie, but like that whole like kind of where they shun him, kind of like.
Yeah,
I just felt a little bit. I was like, I don't like it.
Don't shun my boy.
Don't shun my boy. It was like he needs his meat.
He needs that ass in his mouth.
My boy needs some cheek.
I agree. I remember similarly. I remember not freaking out, panicking.
I shat myself.
It freaked me out a bit as a kid. The scene where he like starts to see everyone as a stick.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of. It freaked me out a bit. It was like I made that. You know what? I was a little bit uneasy with it. I was like, oh, no,
unsettling.
A little bit unsettling. But still a great movie. I love the implied massive pegging that Alex is about to do on Ross the goofball when he's stuck in the box.
What a sentence that was. But yes, when he rams him with the giant stick.
But he doesn't actually ram him.
That's true, yeah.
Because your mother washes up on the beach.
Fuck.
Yes.
2-2. It's a close game.
Let's go.
No, I think... Yeah, it's just like very... And it has so many like iconic and also, especially for kids, just like delightful side characters. You have the penguins, you have King Julian.
Yeah, the penguins are very delightful.
Lots of... Yeah.
And King Julian as well. You dunce, bud. Mort.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Right there.
I've been working on it. It's the only thing I do in the mirror.
Yeah, your neighbors just hear you. Mort.
Maurice.
And I think just a random little detail. I remember I thought it was the coolest thing when I was a kid when Marty makes like a tiki bar on the beach out of just like random stuff, and it's just like a really nice bar, and he just has like he's making a cocktail there. I was like, damn, that goes really hard.
That does go hard, and Alex is just absolutely just
shitting himself.
My piece of the island.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look. Rewatching it just as like a movie, it has a bit of the Dreamworksy stuff. There are some kind of like shoehorned in references. They have like a Planet of the Apes reference, and it's okay. But in general, just a really fun and like a really nice world, like fun world to explore. Really likable characters. I think a very solid kids movie that like is probably it's probably a tier below like a Kung Fu Panda or something. But because of the nostalgia,
go back 5 minutes. A definite S tier movie.
I know. But for the nostalgia and for my personal love for it moves it up to an S tier movie.
Fair. No, like I always I've seen it a lot of times, but it was never my favorite. Like when I think back, I'm like, this is definitely not my favorite of them, of the DreamWorks movies, but still good.
I have heard that a lot from people. I think it may be one that maybe more specific to me, that I was a big nostalgia person with this, but I'm gonna go like an 8.7 out of 10 for me. I very much like this movie.
I'll give it like 7.3 King Julians out of 10 Morts. Mort. All
right, trivia.
Ooh,
this one's it's not. Number 1. Very topical. After the Will Smith slap incident, Madagascar 4 production was halted as Jada Pinkett Smith and Chris Rock refused to work together. Because they are both in this movie. She does play your mother.
No! I mean, I don't know.
Seems cheap. It wasn't as strong. No.
But
you did the same one twice.
Yeah, but it worked.
It did work. It was really good.
Yeah. Okay, you get deducted a point. Okay. 2-1 to me.
You are disqualified.
You lose by default.
Or, number 2, the lead quartet were originally supposed to be a lion, a zebra, a hippo, and an okapi. Melman was changed to a giraffe to make him a more familiar animal. Also because they thought, what a goofball, he should be a giraffe. That's not part of the trivia, but I assume so.
Okay. All right. So, here's my thinking.
Okay.
Right. I've not heard that Madagascar 4 was ever in the works.
Okay.
And also, if that was a huge issue, it's animated. They don't actually have to film their lines together.
But maybe they don't want to have their names on the same goddamn poster. They'd have to do press junkets together.
But see, here's the thing.
They'd have to attend the Cannes Film Festival together.
But Jada has...
For the premiere of Mada Fourscar.
Mada Fourscar. What a terrible name.
They don't even try to make it anything.
Madagascar. Mada Fourscar. And also, I feel like, so, I was in the moment, it was a bit heated, but Jada has gone out and said, like, oh yeah, Will shouldn't have done that. Clearly not, probably isn't crazy about the Chris Rock joke, but like, I don't think she hates him. And then the other thing, it just seems like the Okapi thing, I'm gonna I'm gonna say that's the truth.
That is the truth.
Let's go.
I will say, I do think Madagascar 4 is in some stage of production at the moment. I think they are at least talking about it. That one is true, though, because I also had no idea what the fucking okapi was. And I had
Is
to look
that's
up.
the kind of like mix between a zebra and a giraffe?
Which would have been a way worse choice, because like the giraffe provides a much different, like an okapi and a zebra are pretty close. Like,
exactly.
That'd be terrible. So good call there. Next up, we do have Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Now, I know you have a beef.
Fuck me.
But
why are there so many Wallace and Gromit movies?
But can I just say, I know you have your beef.
I do have my beef.
With the animation style. And I sometimes similarly do.
Okay, fine.
But this one is a very fun movie.
I've not seen it.
Do you like, beyond the animation, just the sort of, I don't want to say slapstick, but you know, like the kind of British comedy style of Wallace and Gromit, like sort of the charming, like they have a little mug and he's eating some cheese or whatever, you know. That classic joke of Wallace and Gromit.
That classic
he
Wallace
has a little mug.
He has some
cheese
and eating a bit of cheese. I will say I like it if it's in Pingu, the show. But otherwise, meh. So you're saying your biggest... Your favorite part of this is that he's eating a bit of cheese and has a little mug.
I was just saying, like, beyond the animation style, if you just look at, like, the sort of... Because I think Aardman, who do this animation, I think it's twofold, two-pronged, some could say, of their...
A double-edged sword.
A two-sided coin, which is most of them.
Coins, I would say. But
I think it's two sides of their style where, yes, it's the claymation, but it's also, like... They have a very charming comedy style. Like, it's just, like, quite... I think they make, like, quite funny movies that aren't... They're very different from the, like, Shark Tale type of comedy, where it's a bit more clever and a little bit more subtle, I guess? I don't know. Like, or a little bit more creative. Anyway.
A bit more homely, perhaps.
Sure.
Yeah. But, at the same time, it's an animated movie, which means that the animation must be for my liking.
So are you not willing to give... any Aardman film a chance simply because you do not like the animation? And this is not a criticism. I'm genuinely wondering.
It just puts me off.
You don't want to sit down and watch it.
I don't really like. It's the same thing with. I'll give an example that I don't know if you'll appreciate, but there's this anime called Mob Psycho 100 or something like that, right?
Okay.
I hear. Like it's one of the best animes of all time, right? And everyone's like, oh, the animation of it is very, very cool, and I like it. But whenever I watch it, like, I've tried to watch the first episode a few times, and the animation just weirdly grosses me out, because it's not, like, a typical animation style, and even though, like, I think the story is going to be very, very cool, and I'm sure I could, like, kind of break that barrier, but the moment I sit down and I'm not immediately, like if I'm put off by the animation, it kind of gives me an overall kind of automatic dislike or disinterest in the project. And I think it's a similar thing with Wallace and Vomit here.
Aptly titled. I think that's fair. I think there have been some things where I've had that as well, where you don't. And yeah, it is one of those where, yeah, if you did settle into it, even like this, I also was not a fan of claymation. And I think Flushed Away was the gateway, because that's a computer animated film made to look like claymation. But I do get that. That's fair enough. That being said, I will say, it's a very good movie. It is very funny and charming.
Okay. So I forget, does Wallace also speak?
Wallace is the dog, right?
Yeah.
No, Gromit's...
What? No. Gromit?
Wallace is the dog.
Are you sure?
We've had this discussion so many times, and last time it devolved into something about Bus, I'm pretty sure. So let's not go down that road.
Wallace is the dog, Gromit is the bus.
But, yes. No, he does not speak.
Does Gromit speak?
He does a little bit, but he's sort of a bit...
Is he like Mr. Beanie?
No, he's just sort of a simple man. He's just like, he's sort of kind of unaware of what's happening sometimes, like, Wallace. I think it's a fun story. There's this, giant rabbit that's eating everyone's carrots, and then, they have to stop the rabbit. It's a fun movie. They have a bit of an adventure, and there's this hunter character. He's like the villain who's quite funny, and he gets shot, I think, in the butt at the end. It's pretty good.
Okay.
They make like a big sexy fake rabbit to distract the were-rabbit, and they
oh my god,
they do a bit of a dance.
I might have seen this movie then.
Right, that scene is quite iconic.
I've definitely seen that. I might have seen this movie because I do remember there's a hunter, and I do remember there being a rabbit of sorts causing a bit of mischief.
Yeah. Oh, I think they do a brain swapped with a rabbit at one point, and Gromit is becoming a rabbit. It's a classic comedy scene where the tax collector, whoever is coming to give them, or the mailman's coming to give them their mail, and Gromit is slowly turning into a rabbit, and he has to, like...
I would say the mailman and tax collector. Very different roles.
It's neither of them. It's actually a woman who's like in love with Gromit, now that I think about it. So I've gone very strange direction here to explain this one bit that I like. But anyway, it's a very good movie. I like it a lot. I'd say an 8.5.
8.5. Okay, I'm not going to give it a rating because it's gross and also because I have not seen it. Okay. I think.
Okay. Sorry.
I wonder what's going to happen here.
Okay, trivia. Number 1. During filming, Aardman managed an average of 3 seconds of usable footage per day. It's a quite intensive process to make a claymation film.
Okay.
Number 2. The film originally featured a graphic sex scene between the were-rabbit and the sexy decoy fake rabbit, but it was cut because it lasted 45 minutes.
I see.
Right. I think you've seen that deleted scene.
I think I got that one off RedTube, I believe. Damn, that's a tough one. A were-rabbit and decoy rabbit sex scene.
It's just the were-rabbit humping the shit out of this big piece of cloth or whatever for 45 minutes.
God, Wallace watches. Just Gromit in the background. Hands just like, yes. That one's definitely the right one.
All right. Yes.
All right, moving on.
No, you're wrong. 2-2 to BHL or whatever. Next up, we have this one also, I think maybe a bit of a Madagascar, where I have a ton of nostalgia because it was a big hit in my family.
Okay.
But I don't know if other people have the same love. Over the Hedge.
Ooh.
What are we thinking of Over the Hedge?
All right, I won't lie to you here.
Oh boy.
The very first time I went to see Over the Hedge was in the cinema.
Ooh.
I left after 5 minutes because I was terrified.
I think you have of the bear.
Of the bear.
The bear.
That shit scared the shit out of me, and I cried, and we left.
To be fair, when Over the Hedge came out, you would have been 4 years old?
I think so.
That is... Yeah, I think you gotta be like at least 6 for a DreamWorks film. 4 is still... You're still in your Disney Pixar phase.
Yeah. I went in there, and my mom feels quite bad for it to this day. She's like, I took my boy and I traumatized him. I was like, yes, you did.
I abandoned my boy.
I abandoned my boy.
With the bear from Over the Hedge.
But yeah, we went in there, and the whole thing, it is a bit of a scary opening with like the bear and RJ and stuff like that. And then, we left. But
I'm so happy you didn't stay long enough for the dream sequence where he imagines the bear's going to eat him. I mean, that's even more terrifying.
Yeah, that's also terrifying. Where it's like, hey, RJ. Home.
Yeah.
But
home.
But I have seen it since a few times. I enjoy it. I think it's good. I think it's good, bordering mid. It's just yeah. Like, I get why some people really enjoy it, but I think that's if you've seen it like, kind of growing up. And I think the first time I watched it, I was like maybe 12 or 13 kind of thing. And it was good, but not the biggest fan.
I can totally see that. I think, yeah, it is, if I remove the nostalgia-tinted glasses, it is a bit on the more average animated film side. It's still, I think it's quite funny, and I think it's, like, got some...
It's got some good moments.
As you would want any animated film to have, like, it has, like, a lot of fun characters and some fun action set pieces and, like, a pretty simple story. Like, it's nothing, mind-blowing. It's not gonna change anyone's life, except for yours, of course, with the therapy you've had to do since then. I did watch a lot growing up, and so I just, we would quote the movie all the time, and, they're just, all the scenes would stick out to me, and I do have to say, I really like the premise. Like, I think it's a lot of fun.
I think it is a fun premise as well, I like the squirrel.
The Steve Carell squirrel is fun.
Mm-hmm. And is it Seinfeld who voices the turtle? Who voices the turtle?
No, I think it's William Shatner, actually.
Okay.
I'm waiting for a joke at the expense of a man's family name.
William Shatner, more like William Shat on her.
All right.
Face.
Okay.
Piss.
Gromit? Okay.
How to break the tension. Gromit.
But yeah, it's just it's a very basic story, and it's another one of the classic, everyone thinks he's great, and then they find out he's not great, and then but then he has to win the friends back, whatever. I do think, of course, everyone knows like the Quicksilver style action scene, which is iconic.
I do like that action
scene. A great time.
Very cool.
I think it is very, like, it just has a lot of quite funny, those DreamWorks kind of, it's not even like adult jokes, but like jokes that you don't really care about as a kid, but like the Verminator guy and like the super like mega bitchy woman whose house they like rob or whatever, who's just like terrible, this like PTA mom stereotype, whatever, and like just funny moments like that, and I have to say the final action scene where on the highway and stuff, that's a lot of fun too.
That is a lot of fun, but also like it does get a little bit, and I guess I know it's the purpose of it, but it does get a little bit chaotic to the point where it's like, okay,
it's a little too much.
A little too much, I'd say.
That's fair. But yeah, overall, I think I would probably agree with you. Generally, it's probably like mid to good. I do have a lot of love because I did grow up with it.
You grew up with it. I get it and I respect it, just not fully for me.
I'll go an 8.2.
8.2? I'll give it a 7.2. No. Wait, what did I give Madagascar? 7.2?
I think so.
Okay. That's it's definitely worse than Madagascar by a long shot. I think I was we'll say 7.5 for Madagascar, we'll say 7 for this one.
Fair. Trivia.
Oh.
Number 1. To prepare for his role as Vincent the Bear, Nick Nolte researched information about bears in order to give the right vocal tone and performance to his character.
Okay.
Number 2. The Verminator character design was created after the filmmakers asked an AI, what will Frederick Dahlgard look like in 15 years? That's a 4-3 BHL.
To anyone who's keeping up, BHL just took the lead.
To our friends listening to the Poorly Planned Blues Hour, BHL is #winning.
God, you son of a bitch.
Can I just say that I also chose the Nick Nolte one because I think it's kind of funny because he literally just sounds like normal Nick Nolte. Like he does not.
Also, why
Nick
would
Nolte sounds like a bear anyway, but like. So it works, but there's no like what would he have learned that would have...
what are you learning about bears? Like
it's like, oh,
bears don't speak.
I should growl more.
Yeah, it's like bears don't speak, Nick. Like
Nick. Mr. Nolte, I mean
Nolte, please, you're delusional.
We then, speaking of which, not delusion, but speaking of a film we talked about earlier, we move on to Flushed Away.
Ooh.
Which I would say is an absolute highlight of the Dreamworks catalog. Becomes used car salesman.
Used cars. You make it sound as if that not the cars are used, but you are. Again, Flushed Away.
Have you not seen it?
I've seen a bit of it, I think. But it's again.
It's not even claymation.
Well, it's made to look like claymation.
Yeah, but it's so much more charming because it's claymation. I think the creepy part of claymation is like the slightly
jarring
static movement or whatever. Like this one. And like also like the camera work and everything, it's
I think I have seen it.
It is such a charming, fun movie. It is.
I'm pretty sure I have seen it, but he gets flushed down the toilet.
He does get flushed away at one point. Actually, 2 points.
2 points.
Spoilers. Hugh Jackman is
flushed.
The main character of the film, Flushed. Yeah.
Flushed Away, starring Flushed.
Yes. No.
Yes. No.
Fuck. What have I done?
Paradox. The world splits apart
at the thought of Hugh Jackman being Flushed.
And who's the sexy lady rat he meets?
Really just outed yourself there? Yeah. Who's that rat who like all of us really want to bang? I believe it's Kate Winslet for the record.
Let's fucking go.
Who's that rat that we all have a picture hanging above our bed of?
Yeah, who's that rat that we all imagine when we would get naked in the shower?
The Hugh Jackman one, actually.
Yeah, the Flushed.
The Flushed. It's a very fun movie. I think it's one of the funniest DreamWorks movies. Ian McKellen is a big toad. He's hilarious.
You can't say that about him.
Yeah, really, he's not in this movie. Ian McKellen is a big toad. He's hilarious. Complete side note.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. I've got some great childhood memories. By the way, Ian McKellen's a toad.
And do you remember his 2 rat henchmen? Ian McKellen's rat henchmen.
I do.
They're so funny. And it has such good action scenes with some banging music. Fun fact: the film Green Eyes,
yes.
award-winning,
greatest movie of all time.
Thank you. I was inspired. One of the songs in that is from Flushed Away because I did watch Flushed Away as I was writing it. So. 10 out of 10 movie. But enough about Green Eyes.
So S tier.
And it's just, again, a great world building. This little underground sewer place. Yeah. The rats, when they're going car chase, they ride a fucking... What's the cooking thing that, like, spins?
A mixer.
A mixer,
A mixer of
whiskey,
sorts.
whatever thing.
A whiskey mixie.
Whiskey mixie. They do ride one of those. And it has like a really nice romance. Also like a really sweet message about like family and loneliness and sort of like, I don't know. It's a very good movie.
Okay, I don't remember too much of it. I'll let you take lead, but
okay. I enjoy it a lot.
You enjoyed it a lot. Okay, well,
I'm gonna go 9.4 out of 10.
9. Damn.
I did just hit a dab.
For those still tuning on the Blues channel, I did just hit a dab.
I should just smooth blues at like 2 a.m. I just hit the whoa. I just want everyone to know.
Yeah, so I just completed the WAP challenge.
Triviums. Number 1.
Yes.
This is Aardman's first fully CGI feature film. The reason for using computer animation instead of the studio's trademark claymation was the numerous scenes involving water, which is nearly impossible to do convincingly in stop motion.
Fair.
Makes a lot of sense, unless I made that one up. We'll see.
We'll see.
Number 2.
Yeah.
To get into character for this film, Hugh Jackman dunked his head in a toilet for 40 minutes every day for a month.
Hugh Jackman is flooshed.
He gets the check, he's like, alright, fine.
No one's asked him to do it. Alright, Jackman, I just need you to read these lines. Gotcha. Borderline drowns himself every time.
Waterboards himself in his own toilet. God.
He loves the thrill of acting.
There's no drug like it.
Well, definitely that one.
Yeah.
100%.
Of course. How else are you supposed to get into character?
Yeah, for an animated
For a claymation animated
the fact that,
film.
like, you have to really... Obviously not this one. But that people have to get into character for an animated movie sometimes, like
like Nick Nolte.
Like Nick
doing
Nolte, the bear
research.
thing. Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
You've been cast because you've got the perfect voice for this.
Yeah.
Not because you need to learn how to be a bear.
Yeah. How to talk like a bear who, little side note, don't speak.
Who do not speak, Nick.
And the final film we have here for today's episode.
Please be a good one.
I'm so sorry. It's going to be a really bad one.
Oh.
It is, in fact, Shrek the Third. Oh, he's up 10 points now. Shrek the Third. The third Shrek film.
The third Shrek
And
film.
indisputably, indubitably, the worst.
Ooh. Well, that is just what your opinion is.
Oh.
Boom! Fuck. That's not even that good.
It's kind of just a fact, I guess.
I disagree so hard. The fourth one is obviously the best.
We've had debates on this.
We have had
the fourth
debates.
one's the best, you say.
What? Did I say that just now?
You did.
Okay, well, that is not what I
It's
meant.
on the record.
No.
That was the episode for this week.
The fourth one is not the best. The fourth one is the worst of all 4 movies. It's
So,
just...
okay, can you present the case for Shrek the Third?
Okay.
As a Shrek the Third, you know, I'm not even a hater. As a Shrek the Third, midder.
Midder, okay.
Why do you think Shrek the Third is the best movie you've ever seen? Which is what you've said countless times.
You son of a bitch. Told you that in confidence. I'm just saying, Shrek the second is the best, then the first Shrek, then the third one. I think it's a similar kind of Pirates situation where the first 3 goated. Fourth one comes along, not that great.
So are you telling me, Frederick Dahlgaard,
Yes.
as you are on the stand, right hand to God,
Right hand to God.
that you think the first 3 Shrek films are of a similar quality to one another?
I wouldn't say that they're of super similar quality. I'd say the third one definitely has a bit of a lower level, but it's less so the quality, more the feel of the movie. Because it almost feels like a kind of smoother kind of transition between the movies of each one of them. It kind of goes Shrek 2, Shrek 3. A believable kind of sequence, I think. You kind of go through it. And then the fourth one, he just does a fucking tail flip and goes backwards, and everything the 3 movies have been about is just gone to shit. You shut your mouth. And the third one brings like a bunch of characters, like all the princesses, and the jailbreaks and stuff like that. And Arthur is a fun part of it as well. I enjoy.
Man said Arthur's a fun part of it, as if he isn't the worst Shrek character in the canon.
Rumple is.
Rumple is a much better character.
Disagree.
Much more interesting.
Hard disagree.
Better animated.
Better animated, definitely. Arthur does look like a weird Ken doll. Okay, it's not even... Okay, Arthur, maybe one of the less good parts of the movie. But I'm just saying, his arc, decent.
You keep ending sentences as if they're taking a pause and then telling, no.
That's enough out of you. Okay.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
And yeah. And I like the whole family aspect of it as well. He's Shrek about to become the Shraddy.
Right. Daddy is a state of Shrek.
Daddy is a state of Shrek. Go on. Why do you hate it so much?
Okay,
why do you think it's the worst movie ever made?
I don't think it's the worst movie ever made. However, it's the second worst. No.
Everything that comes before, however, is useless.
Damn.
Yeah.
I can agree with some of what you say. I think it just is a very overcrowded movie in a way that the other two are not. I think it doesn't have the same charm as the other two. I think as a standalone animated film, it is quite serviceable, and it's probably, realistically, because I didn't watch it growing up, so I have no nostalgia for it, it's probably similar-ish to, like, maybe an Over the Hedge. It's probably not that far behind from Over the Hedge in terms of just, like, if I take all nostalgia out of it, they're both, like, okay animated movies, pretty solid.
Yeah, but there is that nostalgia part of it.
Well,
for me at least.
For you, okay, that's fair enough. But I do think it's trying to do too many things, and none of them are as fun or interesting as they are in the other movies, where, like, the other movies, they introduce these new elements, like, you know, the first one, obviously, it's setting everything up and has the fairy tale stuff, and the second one, like, they do have a lot of new stuff. It's Puss in Boots, and it's the fairy godmother, and it's expanding the world, and it's her parents and stuff, and it's all tied together very well, and this one, I feel like it's not tied together super well. You have Prince Charming over here, and Shrek trying to be a dad, and then Arthur is this I just found him to be very unappealing character.
Well, he's a whiny little bitch, and it's whatever. But it's just it's less about him. It's more the story that's based around him.
But he's still a big part of the film, and I think it's just another element. Like, they do Shrek and Donkey swap bodies at one point. Like, you know, Merlin does like a spell or whatever.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's true.
There's a lot. The witches, the princesses. There's a lot going on that I think you could have either cut some of it out.
Is it not Donkey and Puss who swap?
Sorry, what did I say?
Shrek.
Oh, no, sorry, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I was about to say it again. Puss and Donkey.
Okay.
The Puss in the ass swap places. It's happened to us all. And I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. I think there are a couple of funny moments, and I'll be honest, I don't remember a lot about it.
But it starts off very sad, where Shrek is about to get his nut on, and then out of he's like, oh, somebody better be dying.
That's the
Frog
best.
King dies.
That's the best joke in the movie. It's like, somebody better be dying, and it cuts to the king actually dying. I think that is one of the best jokes. But
it's very funny.
Look, it's not terrible. I think it's easily the least memorable. Because say what you will about Shrek 4, which we will say a lot about in I think maybe the next episode. I think that one at least is a bit more coherent and has a little bit more like memorable stuff to it.
We'll get into it.
We'll get to it.
But it's just, I'll just say, overall, bad vibes in Shrek 4. Bad vibes.
I would say bad vibes in Shrek 3, but that's up to us. But anyway, I accept your opinion. It is what it is.
There.
Triviums.
Number
1. This is the only film in the franchise where Shrek and Fiona do not have to exchange true love's kiss to solve a problem. Interesting.
Okay.
Or number 2, possibly from IMDb. Although it's already been widely discussed, we should all take a moment to consider how disturbing it is that Donkey and Dragon have had sex at least 5 times. Can we just take a minute?
Well, you say at least 5 times. Maybe it just freaking quadrupled.
Actually, yeah, maybe it was such a... I was going to say powerful nut, something but I
don't have to say it immediately. I don't want to say donkey sperm is him, but
So, yeah, no, I mean...
that donkey seed do be potent.
Okay. Okay.
I don't want to have to say all of that.
So I won't. I'm not going to say it.
I'm not going to say it.
You never heard it from me. But yeah, no, that is what it is.
That is true.
It is. No, yeah. No, actually, neither of these are untrue.
Yeah, neither of these are untrue.
One's more just an acknowledgement.
Yeah, I mean, there is less of a Shrek and Fiona kind of problem in this movie than there are in the other ones. I do always like a good Shrek kiss with Fiona. Not for me personally, not with Fiona. Just me and Shrek kissing.
Right. Shrek the Third. I'm gonna go with a 6.2 out of 10.
6.2? Are you ridiculous, sir?
No, you're not. Fine. A 6.6. So 6.5 would be a failing grade. And I will slightly spare it.
Fine.
The fail of the class.
Well, I'm gonna give it a 8 out of 10.
Jesus.
Because it's fucking good.
Okay.
Okay.
Fuck. Well, it's now time for
the dumb news.
Since this is pre-recorded in advance, as opposed to pre-recorded in the future, I'm gonna try to find a Tom Cruise fact
that we've never heard before. That we've never Herb-deaned before.
Whoosh.
Deep cut.
And I'm gonna try to find one related to the Shrek films. Tom Cruise is the villain of Shrek 4?
That would be great.
Tom Cruise as Prince Charming. Tom Cruise. Okay, apparently, Tom Cruise was in talks, according to an Access Online article from probably 2009.
Okay.
Tom Cruise was in talks to play, I guess, Rumpelstiltskin, the villain of Shrek 4.
I can see it.
Could have gone kind of hard.
Because who voices Rumpel?
I think it's actually it's not like an unknown, but it's quite a low-key choice. I think they just picked like an actual good voice actor, which, is respectable.
Respectable.
But also Tom Cruise, I don't want to say he has a Rumpel vibe.
He does have a heavy Rumpel vibe.
But he does a little bit. Also, I feel like one character was based on Tom Cruise in the Shrek films, and this article that requires me to press next every time is not going to tell me, so fuck you. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode. There are no announcements and such this week. Actually, maybe the way we're doing pods now, maybe we can slide in a bit of an announcements and such. Mm-hmm. If we do, we'll cut to that now.
And if not, deal with it.
Here we are.
We back.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, hit the bell button, leave a comment down below what you thought of the Dreamworks movies. Wait, we should rank these, actually, before
yes, true.
Before we get to the announcements. Put this before the announcements. So how would you rank Shark Tale, Madagascar, Wallace and Gromit, Over the Hedge, Flushed Away, Shrek 3?
Alright. Here's the ranking I'm going to hit you with. Mainly because some of these I've not seen properly. Three of them. But we're going to go with first choice. Shrek the Third.
Jesus. What?
Then we're going to go with Madagascar in close second.
Okay.
Then we're going to go Over the Hedge.
Okay.
Then we'll say Flushed Away.
Okay.
And then we will go Shark Tales, and then dead last,
wow,
Wallace and Gromit, because it's a gross, shitty animation style.
That requires hundreds of hours of work and lots of manpower.
So it requires so much manpower, yet creates such terrible results.
God. Well, might be one of the worst lists I've ever heard in my life. I'm going to go worst to best. I'm going to go...
That might be one of the worst lists I've ever heard.
I'm going to go Shark Tale, Shrek the Third, Wallace and Gromit, Over the Hedge, Madagascar, Flushed Away.
Controversial.
Big takes.
Don't know why Shrek the Third is so far down. Silly boy.
We're now going to go to the announcements and such, or maybe not. Now, hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, hit the bell button, leave a comment down below how you would rank the movies we talked about today, and what you think of our takes, dubs or L's. I guess, we should just encourage this way of speaking, because that's what's happening anyway.
Dubs or L's.
You can find me on YouTube, bitch. You can find the rest of the podcast on Apple Podcasts. Wait, no, it's also on YouTube. Fuck me. You can find the podcast is on YouTube, and it's also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, where you can leave a nice review, a 5-star rating. I'm hungover, I'm sorry.
You've been going really well, and then this last second has really just broken you.
Leave a rating and tell your friends and stuff. A nice one, please. You can find me on YouTube, BHL Hudson, Instagram, Twitter, BHL_Hudson. You can email the pod at bhlhudson@gmail.com. I'm also at Letterboxd, Real BHL Hudson, TikTok, BHL Hudson. All these links are down below. Jesus.
You can find me on Twitter at FTK_DaltSniper, Instagram at Fidelgard. You can also find me on the Letterboxd at FTK_Thwilms, and on YouTube at FTK_Gaming.
Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time. Shrek's better. The third. Your mom's the third hottest mom. Okay. I win. I win.